This is the most toxic movie I've ever seen in my entire lifetime. But what do I think about it? Let's get on to the review. How are we doing, everybody? This is Let's Be Real with Brad. Today we'll be talking about the newly released Netflix film, Malcolm and Marie. The film is directed by Sam Levinson, starring Zendaya and John David Washington are the only actors in the movie. This is the first Hollywood film to be entirely written, financed, and produced during the pandemic, with it being filmed last year from June to July in a secret location. After checking this film out last night, I have to say, I really enjoyed this film. The film explores a toxic relationship between a film director and his girlfriend. Throughout the runtime, they argue and treat each other in the unhealthiest way possible. I think it will turn people off from this film because it is two characters fighting and arguing the whole movie, being the most toxic people you will ever meet. But I think as a whole, this film is very challenging to watch, but also very clever in its execution of how truly toxic a couple can be. The film succeeds in having these complicated, troubled characters who reveal their inner self, showing many of the tremendous and toxic traits about them on Malcolm's biggest night of his career. I just love how the film gives you a very unbiased perspective of these characters, like we are a counselor listening to this couple argue back and forth by taking off the glove in a figurative sense, revealing all their dark inner truths about each other. We only see them for a few hours in the movie's time setting at 1 a.m. in the morning, so when the twists of this movie unfold, it makes you so much more interested in the film as it goes along, even with the number of shortcomings it has along the way. So let's get on to the positives, starting with the acting. This is the backbone of the film, in which Zendaya and John David Washington are genuinely excellent in this film, giving excellent delivery on their lines without ever missing a beat. They have to provide very long, power-driven monologues that would go on for minutes, in which they sell their sharp, quick, and powerful lines to each other that truly captured the atmosphere of the film. They had terrific chemistry together, genuinely feeling like this toxic couple who love and argue with each other in the unhealthiest way possible. The film's black and white presentation is an excellent choice because the cinematography is gorgeous, with the perfect amount of contrast throughout. This was the ideal choice because it allows us to focus on the characters instead of anything else the film offers. It makes this film have this classic modern day feel to it that I loved. The directing is also great, with capturing these emotional and heartbreaking moments that I thought were done so passionately. There was so much precision and impressive shot selection that always made this film feel refreshing and exciting to look at. There are many long takes in the movie that feel so natural. Livingston can capture these long takes, giving fantastic direction to the actors. This made the film feel stylistically interesting to watch. I also very much enjoy the editing, as it felt so natural of the direction of the film. I hardly noticed any of the cuts because there are many wonderful long takes in this film. It is so smooth and flows perfectly within this film. The music is also pretty good, having some great songs that fit this broken romantic drama film that works nicely for the film's presentation. The score was solid too, which I wish they utilized more. Let's get on to the negatives, starting with the writing. There are times where the screenplay is fantastic, giving these truly personal monologues, especially when we dive into the third act, that made me sink into my seat. Still, there are so many moments in the film it chooses to be so self-indulgent in itself, with Malcolm giving these insane, over-the-top monologues about critics that feel so long and ridiculous. It is supposed to showcase his egotistical, passionate love for his filmmaking, but it goes on for too long. If they cut out a few minutes from these moments, the film would have felt tighter as a whole. There were hilarious moments that were sprinkled in due to John David Washington's performance when he talked about critics' pretentious, self-indulgent, mediocre writing. Overall, I am very mixed on it, but it is nowhere near terrible as people have made this out. Did you even see the little things? That's a lousy screenplay. My other big issue is that the film goes on for way too long. This film should have been at least 20 to 30 minutes shorter because it repeats itself so tiresome in how toxic it is. This is the feeling you're supposed to get, but when it becomes repetitive, the film becomes very uninteresting and boring. The film becomes very stagnant because it is structured to have Malcolm giving a long monologue, then Zendaya gives one, they fight and argue back and forth, then they take a weird, long, awkward break. This worked for the first few times, but should have slowly changed and evolved as the movie went along. The last issue is its rewatchability. While I think this is a good movie, I don't believe it has a poignant rewatchability factor. The film does have its memorable moments and monologues, but the film became so stale at so many moments that I think many scenes could have been cut out. With that being said, I could go back and watch it 20 years from now and see how it holds up. Overall, this is a good movie that has fantastic performances that kept this movie very entertaining. The writing is very mixed for me, but it still has enough exciting conversations that keep this movie fun and unique. The cinematography and direction are excellent, as I think it works perfectly for a movie with only 2 characters. I would recommend this movie to check out even if you end up not liking the film. I'm giving this film a 7 out of 10. So, have you heard of Malcolm and Marie? And if you have, what did you think of the film? Before you check out of this review, don't forget to leave a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already so you never miss a new fun and exciting video. As always, I will see you all in the next video.